Welcome everyone to Two Waygooks in Korea. My name is Steven.
And I'm Josh.
And we are both English teachers living in South Korea. And in this episode, we will talk about how to buy and what concerts are like in Korea.
Yeah, so we've been to quite a different variety of concerts. We've been to kind of a free concert, solo concert, a mass concert for boys, a mass concert for mainly girls, and a hip hop concert. So we've gone to quite a few already, and many more to come, hopefully. So
All my money. All my money.
Just flying away.
Just concert tickets and swag. It's all gone.
It's just we got this one too.
But anyways, let's first talk about how to buy tickets. Now, I rely on Josh here because for the most part, you need to know Korean.
A little bit. You need to at least know like the basics of like kind of how the system works. You don't need to really know all the words, obviously, because I'm not that good at Korean. I know basic things like checking out and what tickets and seats, things like that, words like that. So if you want to buy tickets and you are in Korea, just familiarize yourself with some of the vocab. They let you look at basically the site beforehand before you pick seats. So if just look at all the buttons and go to like Google Translate or Naver and just translate them and then figure it out.
Yeah, there are two major sites. One is Gmarket, which is kind of like the eBay here, sort of.
It's like kind of like an eBay, Amazon combination.
Like marketplace kind of buy it now kind of deal. You're not bidding, as far as I know. And the other one is Interpark. Now, Interpark has an English version of the site, and I think you don't really need to know Korean to use that one.
Pretty much, you don't need to know any Korean. Interpark is very foreigner friendly, but the problem is you won't find a lot of the bigger groups on there. You might find people like Psy or K-Will, 2 a.m., maybe 2 p.m., groups like that. But when we wanted to buy SHINee, Girls' Generation, Big Bang. I think 21's going to be on Gmarket too. Like they're all going to pretty much be on Gmarket. So
yeah, but we bought IU on Interpark.
Yeah.
And how about the hip hop one?
Well, yeah, the hip hop one we also bought in Interpark. And
so yeah, the A+ ones are usually going to be on Gmarket.
Well, the really really popular, the really idly ones are going to be on Gmarket. Just know that. But for the most part, it is. The ones that are really high demand are going to be on Gmarket because Gmarket kind of has the capacity to handle all of that, server.
Unless you're Big Bang and you crash the website,
so
a million times.
So we've bought SHINee tickets and Girls' Generation tickets off of Gmarket, and we tried to buy Big Bang tickets twice now, and they're coming out with a third one, but both times we failed. And we had maybe 3-4 people trying to buy it at the same time, myself included.
Now, I've heard from Korean people and someone else that we met saying that the best way to do it is to go to a PC Bang or a LAN center kind of deal because they have the fastest internet and they have the best computers and you can kind of spam it.
And you can be on more than one computer at a time. That's what's important.
Yeah.
And another important thing to note is that if you aren't running Internet Explorer, you're out of luck.
Yeah, you have to use Internet Explorer. Pretty much in Korea, you have to use Internet Explorer.
And like older versions of Internet Explorer. It's really, really annoying, but
Internet Explorer.
If you want tickets, you gotta do what you gotta do.
So. Yeah, so I have a Mac, so I just can't use my Mac. I can't get tickets. Even if I knew Korean, I just can't do it.
So unless Steven, I boot camp. You are doubly useless.
I am just you wait, I can be triple useless.
I mean I have a Mac too, but I boot camp and obviously my Windows version has Internet Explorer on it, so yeah.
Why? Why would you need to do that? I wanted to boot camp too, but I would have to reformat and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But anyways, that is a big thing. Gotta have Internet Explorer. You don't actually need Korean that much. Now, what were the prices like? There are many tiers of tickets, just like in any concert. You know, like S tier and A tier, or.
So mainly, you'll see about 3 different tiers per concert. For IU, it was pretty much right smack dab, front row, first floor and all that. And then further back, and then I think there was a second floor. And it was
she was in a smaller kind of more university.
It was at a university. So every time you go to like about a university, it's usually concerts you buy off Inner Park. You'll have like a front section where it's the most expensive, usually ranging from about 100,000 to 110, maybe 90 to 110.
Yeah, which is about $90 to
$90 US to about 110 US, and then obviously it goes up by 10 from there. The cheapest one for our hip hop concert was I think about 77. Then it went 87, 97. For IU it was about I think like 90, 91 or something like that. It was like by 10.
I mean, they're actually not that much. Yeah, there's like 10, and really the only limit is can you get there fast enough.
Yeah.
But you can pick your seats on the website, so you'll know exactly where to sit, and you get to choose and stuff. But it's about $100 in general.
And that's the nice thing about concerts. You're in a seat. You're assigned a seat, so it's not kind of like a mosh pit, like rock concert that you might be used to going to in America, where it's kind of you buy a ticket and it's general entry, and just kind of squish your asses up as close to the stage as possible. It's not like this. Everybody's usually sitting down, unless you're jerking, you stand up. But
there's a lot of jerking. But yeah, let's talk about our experiences with the couple of concerts. So
we'll just go through each concert, right?
Yeah. So the first one was a free one at the local university, and Girls' Day came and performed like 3 or 4 songs.
Yeah, it was a very short set. The pre-show was kind of longer than the actual Girls' Day set. Yeah. Yeah,
the pre-show was just some trainees, I guess. I don't even know who they were. They came out, they danced a couple of Girls' Day songs and some other K-pop songs, Kara, and they were not good. But Girls' Day came out. It was really cool for kind of a free deal. And they were like really there was a lot of fireworks for some odd reason.
And they were really low hanging fireworks too. I was like, I don't like maybe 10, 15 feet up in the air. There are flares like.
And it was weird because later on we went to like I went to this grand Korea firework display.
That's right.
Not as good as the Girls' Day concert. It was weird.
That's crazy too.
But
apparently these concerts happen very often. These kind of free concerts for colleges. Yeah. Apparently, while we were watching Girls' Day, there was Crayon Pop in some maybe Yonsei or some other big Seoul university. But yeah, it's pretty common.
And the other thing about it is that like just going to this free concert, like there actually wasn't as many people as I expected to be there. I mean, there were a lot of people.
Yeah, it filled like kind of like a amphitheater. It was like an open air amphitheater, and it filled up the area, but it wasn't.
It wasn't like a crazy. I mean, granted, it was Girls' Day, but Girls' Day has been getting way more popular.
Yeah, especially recently. This past year. Yeah,
and it wasn't like it was a surprise concert. I mean, like we heard about it the day before, or we heard about the day of. I forget. Which I guess is a surprise.
We heard about something like that might happen, and then on the day of or the day before, we kind of heard, oh yeah, it actually is going to happen, and we didn't really know what time, and we just showed up, and then it worked out. Yeah,
to be fair, if you don't know any Korean or you don't know any Korean people, you will not hear about that. Unless maybe you're like part of some fan, like super fan forum or bulletin board or Reddit or something like that.
Or Twitter. Twitter's usually pretty good for K-pop.
But like I tried to figure out where and when it was in English, and you tried in Korean, and we were both kind of not getting the right thing until we heard from a friend who heard from a friend that it was at this time, this place.
Yeah. I had a general idea when I looked up online in Korean about when it would be, but the problem is that Girls' Day actually went to that university already. So I was pulling up a lot of hits about them coming last time. Yeah. So it definitely helps to know Korean people who are native Koreans and can read Korean, like, you can read English. I'm assuming that you're English.
And to search neighbor, because searching in Google is just not the way to do it in this country. You got to search neighbor and Korean to do that.
And you might not understand why, but Google's server, it takes all the hits from basically the Western sites. And Naver takes all of its hits from Korean sites. Yeah. So you got to use the Korean sites to figure out Korean things, obviously, vice versa.
So the next we went to an IU concert, which is kind of a solo artist. It was just her for about 2 hours with a guest or two in there. And I mean, how was it different compared to Girls' Day?
So Girls' Day obviously was in a college setting. IU also was in a college setting. The difference was Girls' Day was in a amphitheater.
Outside.
IU was kind of in a little bit of a music hall, I would say it is. Like a college music hall. And you are assigned seats. It's not kind of like a first come, first serve like it was for Girls' Day. And obviously you had to pay money.
Yeah. Maybe like a couple, like 300, 400 people.
And the big difference between these two concerts, I want to say, is that in the IU concert, there was a lot of swag outside. I mean, swag like this, we're not nice, right? Like, this isn't official merchandise. This is, peddlers selling their stuff, and it's totally fine. Like,
they'll come out with these like little carts, and it just have all the cheering things on there, postcards, coffee mugs, pillows, socks.
So these are, obviously made by them or
little Chinese children.
Who knows? But they're not bad quality. I mean, these are pretty nice pillows. I mean,
they're Asian hard though, so
I mean,
they're not that good.
So the swag was a big thing, and I feel like at this concert specifically for IU, it was a lot more organized in terms of like fans, right?
Yeah, when we were waiting in line outside, there were like the fan clubs passing out the fan chants if you didn't know them, and kind of special things to do at certain times.
Maybe an event, like events they prepare.
Yeah,
like they usually fan clubs will know the set list beforehand or something like it. So they'll have something like, oh, when IU sings "Good Day," we're gonna do this. Or when IU sings, you and I, we're going to do this.
Doesn't help me. I don't know Korean, but it was cool to see.
But usually these fan clubs are pretty smart. They have it in Japanese, Korean, and English, usually.
Do not have it in English.
Yeah, not this time.
And also, to be fair, the Girls' Day one was not a real concert, so they only performed like 4 or 5 songs.
And it talked for me like 5 minutes, and that's it.
Yeah. But the IU was a full ass concert, like 2 hours of IU singing like a beast.
Oh, man, she's such a good singer.
And she had like a guest star, like some old dude. I don't really know.
There's some someday singer.
Yeah, and of course these 2 comedian rappers. Which they host the show.
Yeah, Defcon and Jung Yo-dong.
Yeah, and they were actually really awesome.
Yeah, they were funny.
Yeah, but we bought those tickets and we sat. I mean, pretty close. Like,
yeah, and mind you, so for Interpark tickets, usually they aren't really high demand, so you don't have to buy them right when it comes out. You can kind of wait, unless you want trying to get like front row, obviously.
Yeah, like you should never wait on purpose. But if you do happen to miss the deadline,
don't worry about it so much on Interpark.
Yeah, as far as we know.
Yeah.
But after IU, and her beastly singing, there's a lot of just her being her, right? Kind of more focused. We went to SHINee there's a big SM Town week of concerts.
You guys have probably heard of it if you follow like any sort of K-pop. It is SM Town Week. They kind of had their own themes, and every concert had their own band, and it was for like a whole week, right? Yeah.
So we went to SHINee on the very first day.
Yeah.
And so this was in a big ass convention center size thing.
Kintex in Ilsan.
Yeah, and I mean this was like a couple thousand people
easily.
And this was just IU, but of course taken to a whole new level. Now,
like ×3.
We will say though that we got tickets to SHINee, and there were a lot of empty seats. I mean, in the back.
It was very
surprisingly a lot.
Yeah. So when we bought tickets, we used Gmarket for this. When we bought tickets off of Gmarket, I actually couldn't get tickets. Surprisingly, our Korean friend had to buy them for us.
Yeah.
And then give us the tickets when she got them. And so when we showed up, we thought, oh man, it's gonna be packed.
Yeah.
There's gonna be so many people. But where we were sitting, we look around, and half our section is empty. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. And we were in the very back, but I mean, there were still a lot of people there. I mean, a lot of girls. I mean, it was like 95% girls to 5% boys.
And 5% boys were boyfriends.
Except for us. Or gay couples. I don't know. But, but there was just a lot of seats. Like maybe at least 100 or 200.
Even, I think we saw some empty seats even in like better seats too.
Yeah.
And the reason we know that is because for these concerts, they usually have a signature color for the band or singer. IU, I think, was yellow. I'm not really sure. But even IU had, like, glow sticks.
Yeah.
And so we figured that they were MTCs because there was, like, a gap in glow sticks, right? So you want to talk about glow sticks?
Sure. So glow sticks, we at first, for the IU concert, even the SHINee concert, we were like, glow stick, like, whatever.
Don't need that.
You don't need that. Like, they seem cheesy.
I
But
my hands.
and the IU one was not that crazy. But when we got to the SHINee one, like 99.9% of people bought these, like, about $5 to $7 glow sticks, and like everyone's just cheering with them the whole time
on beat.
And
it's like an ocean.
It really makes you like get into the concert.
Yeah, kind of like a mob mentality,
Yeah, and so we were missing that for SHINee. Now we rectified that situation for Girls' Generation, which we saw next.
I'm gonna buy glow sticks for my girls.
Yeah, and what color are they?
Pink.
They're pink?
Pink ocean.
Are they pink?
Pink ocean.
Right.
You got one too, right?
It's not a vibrator. Doesn't vibrate.
It smells funny though.
I mean, a little funny. I don't know why I went there. But so we went to SHINee, and then Girls' Generation was the day right after.
The next, yeah.
And I mean, there was just even though they're both idolist of the idols, right? Like, they were totally different experiences. I feel aside from the obvious fact that Girls' Generation is more for us and SHINee's not.
It's more for girls, yeah. But I mean, putting that aside, I'm quite a huge SHINee fan. I know a lot of their songs, bought a lot of their albums, and I like the way they perform and I like the way they sing, and I'm a big fan of their live performances. But when they put on a performance, I mean, don't hate me for this, but I feel like they're a little bit uncomfortable, a little bit stuffy, a little bit more what's the word? They're a little bit more formal speaking to the crowd.
They're just like novices. Like, I didn't seem like, especially compared to Girls' Generation, like, Girls' Generation knew what to do. They knew what to do to get all the dudes screaming, all the girls screaming at any moment in time they wanted a dude to scream. They knew exactly what to do.
And they were being themselves. Like, they were kind of just interacting in a stupid way. Like,
they're joking around.
Yeah, there's one part of the concert where there's a Girls' Generation song called First Snow, and they were like, our next song is going to be First, and then Taeyeon was saying things like, first kiss, first hug, first experience, aka sex, and then like you joke around like that, and then it really felt comfortable watching them up there because they felt like they're not nervous, even though they probably were. SHINee felt a little bit stuffy, which is really surprising because SHINee is known for being really good dancers and really good live singers, which they were, but
just as a package, they didn't really.
Yeah.
They didn't really do it for me personally.
I didn't really. Yeah.
But also like, I'm not the hugest SHINee fan, and I only knew about 10% of songs. But that does bring me to the fact that they do talk a lot in Korean during the concerts, especially Girls' Generation. There's a lot of joking, a lot of funny stuff, and since I don't know Korean, like, there's a lot of
just sitting there. Yeah.
I mean, you cute, but, so if you don't know Korean, just expect that. Because I've gone to some concerts in America, they don't really do that. They just song.
They might talk for maybe 5 minutes in between songs, but they won't have a whole, like, section designated for talking.
Yeah.
Which Korean concerts will have. Even IU had that. She had
But she was so cute.
She had a set picture taking time also.
Oh, that does. I wanted to mention that technically for any of these concerts, you are not, except for the Girls' Day one, which is outside. You're not supposed to take any pictures, any videos of any kind.
No.
Now, IU's concert was especially strict about it.
They came. You had your camera out.
Yeah.
And were taking pictures beforehand, before the show had even started.
Just on the stage.
And he came around maybe 2 or 3 times to tell you to put it away, or like,
Yeah, and I was like, fuck you.
Stink eye you, like, and you're like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
But she had a designated picture taking time.
Which was good.
Yeah.
But still, it's like you want to see the experience. SHINee, they didn't care. Like, I could take pictures all day. Granted, I was in the very back, so I didn't see much.
Yeah, we weren't in the very front seats where, I mean, I guess pictures would really matter.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then Girls' Generation, I tried to take pictures before it started, and they stopped me.
Yeah.
But we alluded to this earlier, but everyone's sitting during these concerts.
Yeah.
The SHINee one, everyone was sitting. IU, everyone was sitting. Now, everyone was so damn hyped for SNSD that everyone in the front section, which we were in the front section, stood up.
Now we didn't want to stand up because there are little kids there, and if they're standing, they're not going to be able to see them, and it's kind of like a prisoner's dilemma where you have if one person stands up, then everybody's going to stand up.
Yeah, it's like, we can't see.
But we'll all be better off if everyone just sat down.
Wow.
And people were just yelling at like the people in front, like, please sit down, we can't see, and they don't care.
Yeah. And
I felt a little bit kind of pissed because there are kids there also. You respect. People pay money to see them, and we'll all be better off if we just sat down. Yeah, so you got to watch out for the super hype ones because we were in a pretty good. We were in the front-ish section. Like we paid money, and I couldn't really see much. Most expensive seats.
Couldn't really see much on the actual stage because there's so many people standing, waving their arms around.
And Steven and I aren't short guys. I'm 6 foot tall. That's 182 centimeters. You're what, 5'9"?
Like 9.
5'10" maybe. You're not short either. So the fact that we couldn't see over some of these people, even though it's flat surface, is.
And there's a family behind us with little kids, and it was like, man, this sucks for them. So if you're really short, maybe sitting in the very front section is not the best. If you sit on one of the side sections, they didn't stand up at all. So
usually a concert is split. You'll have a stage, right? And then it'll have like some sort of things, like little platforms protruding from them. And they'll have seats on the sides.
Like in like the stadium seats.
Yeah, so they'll have seats on the sides kind of adjacent to the stage. And then seats kind of in the pit where the stage is and the platforms. And then you'll have like a little area in front of the stage. And then obviously the people in the back and the bleachers. And we got the seats kind of right in front of the stage, not in the pit, not on the side. But in my opinion, I think the best seats are the ones on the sides. Yeah, the bleachers on the sides. You're kind of looking at everything from an angle, but like there's a lot of times the girls would just turn around and wave directly at them, and it's like, and it's really good for picture taking too. Really good. Yeah. If they let you take pictures, I don't know. I mean, you snapped a couple good ones. Just because there are points in time where mob mentality again, everybody had their camera out. You can't enforce it.
Yeah, they were on these little like, what were they? Little stadium thing. I don't know, little carts that they were wheeled around, kind of. Yeah, kind of. So as they were being wheeled around, like everyone's like freaking out, taking their camera. So I took some okay ones. But so you gotta watch. You gotta like pictures. That's not like they're actually really respectful Korean people for the most part. I mean, like if you've seen like a lot of just. Like anything in the West now, it's like 99% of the people have their phones out, and everyone's looking at the event through their phone. That doesn't happen in Korea. Like every once in a while, you'll see a dude videotaping the concert, but for the most part, everyone's looking at the idols, looking at the performance, which is very different.
What's really, really strange is in the States, you will have bag checks, you'll have metal detectors, and all that. Oh. For us, we went to all these concerts. Our bags weren't checked once.
Like we were talking. We could have brought in, we're not, and I don't hope nobody ever does
ever thinks about this.
But we could have brought in anything. Like anything we wanted to.
I could have brought in a butcher knife. I could have brought in like a homemade pipe bomb. It doesn't matter what I brought in. Like I could bring so many dangerous things in there, and they really need to get the bags checked, I think, for not only the safety of like the performers, but like also the viewers, like the crowd too, because it got a little bit heated with the whole sitting down thing, and if it really escalated, then something could have happened, like, honestly.
Like, if that was America, some people would have fought some people.
Yeah.
But we're in Korea, and everyone's still kind of nice, and kind of dealt with it.
And in the SHINee concert, there were points where they came through the crowd, and I was thinking, that's crazy. Like, in the States, like, if, say, like, Justin Bieber came through the crowd or something, he would get jumped. He'd be dead. He would be like torn apart. Yeah. And Korean fans were like so respectful. They just kind of stuck out a hand, like, "Oh, I want to shake your hand," and that's it. And that, I mean, I don't know why that is, but that's pretty amazing.
Yeah. And the very last concert we just got done seeing was a kind of hip hop collaboration concert. It was called the More Than Feel concert.
Yeah. And there are 4 main performers: Outsiders, Bumkey, Verbal Jin, and Sunny.
and their respective crews.
Yeah. I mean, they're all kind of in the same. What is it?
Brand new music.
Brand new music. That's what it is.
Brand new music present.
Oh, my class.
So this was our kind of chance to see like what a non-idol, although kind of idol, concert was like, or a collaboration one.
A little bit off the beaten track, you know, not still very popular. SHINee is very popular this year, but he's not, you know, SHINee. He's not Girls' Generation, right?
Yeah.
No, he's not even IU, to be honest. But
now, to be fair, I've heard songs from all four of those people. Okay, except for Outsider, but I've heard more songs from Bumkey, Verbal Jint, and SHINee being played on the radio or in the streets than Girls' Generation, SHINee, IU, Girls' Day, all of them.
And personally, we love, like, you know, hip hop.
Yeah.
I'm a really big fan of like amoeba culture. What is it? It's like Zion T, like Dynamic Duo, Primary. Yeah. And I really like brand new music also. Yeah. And you're a really big brand new music fan also.
So we were really kind of like, is it going to be like an idol concert? What's going on? And it was kind of like a mix of both. Like they were still selling like lights, and some girls were wearing glowy swag stuff. And it was weird because we were like, no, this is like for SHINee, right? Like why is this happening?
Like lights, like glow sticks and kind of those kind of things. You kind of associate that with idol groups, but they're still in this concert too.
Yeah. And the concert was like a real kind of concert. It was like people came out like on time. They did some songs. Switched to the next guy. He did songs. Bam, 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 bam. Like sometimes they're hyping up the crowd. You know, the sound system was like amazing.
Yeah. It's just strange because all these concerts that we've been to, the acoustics have been fantastic.
Oh yeah, very good.
You know how if you'll go to like rock concerts in the States, like you'll hear what a lot of people call the butterfly song, which is that humming that you get after you hear something really, really loud of a frequency that you will never, ever, ever hear again because your eardrums are damaged, basically. Yeah. And I didn't get that for any of these concerts, but they were still super loud, super clear, right? Yeah. And it was just amazing acoustics all around. Yeah.
And so it was actually kind of weird because during the kind of more hip hop concert, like there were some really hip hop moments, like a real hip hop, like like we gangsta a little bit, and the crowd is like, I don't know what to do. There was a lot of this,
like 8 Mile-ish.
A lot of this, like this, if you want anyone like be thug,
jump around.
Yeah, there's a lot of jumping. So it was kind of really funny to see like the switch between like the not mainstream, but the SHINee songs everyone knows, you know, Story,
아는 사람에게,
you know,
어디서 잤어, Where'd you sleep last
night, or any of these songs like Verbal Jint songs, and then they'll throw in kind of one underground song or one song that it was actual real hip hop, and it was just like I don't know what to do.
Yeah, or sometimes they just sing covers, and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I will say though, actually, like, I mean, for me, Girls' Generation was the best, but that's easily because we really like him.
We like Girls' Generation. They were really good performers also. Yeah. And obviously we were really hyped for this. Yeah. But I feel like I like the IU and the hip hop concert equally as a second place.
I like the hip hop concert more than IU just because I'm still, even though IU's a beastly singer, ballads are boring. Yeah. I'm sorry. And I actually almost fell asleep during the IU concert at one point. Even though she has a lovely voice, but she's just kind of standing there. Yeah. The More Than Feel concert, the hip hop concert, had moments where it was like, yeah, let's do this. Like, let's get on our feet. And it was way more fun. Yeah.
And there was, I think SHINee had a portion where he asked everyone to come up to the stage, and it was like
a mob, yeah.
And me and Steven looked at each other, and all we could think about was fire hazard.
We're like, shit, look at that fire hazard.
Oh, that's fire hazard.
If anyone brought anything in their bags that were not checked, we'd be screwed right now.
That's a fire hazard. Yeah.
But yeah, like SHINee was freaking amazing. Even though he wasn't actually the headline, it was Verbal Jint. Even though Verbal Jint was awesome, but SHINee really kind of stole the show for me. Yeah. And really, Girls' Day was free, so I can't complain about that. It was our first experience. It wasn't particularly good.
It definitely wasn't.
But I was really kind of disappointed with SHINee's, though. Partially because I'm biased and I like some songs. Like I would really like Replay.
You like specific type of SHINee.
Yeah, I really like kind of the older SHINee, and they really didn't play any of their older songs. and they instead replaced it with these weird either dubstep remixes.
It was very
songs I've never heard of in my life.
The songs that they sang that most people will recognize were kind of remixes, either with the tempo really increased, or just a lot of like drum kits.
Two of them at a point tried to sing rap.
Was it Junghyun and Key?
I don't know. That was really bad. No, I'm sorry, guys. That's not your forte. Don't do that.
Don't do that no more.
But like for $100, like, there's a lot of things that I've done here, but like Korean concerts is the only thing that I can only do in Korea. Mm-hmm. Like I can get some food back home. I can get drunk at home, drink some soju if I wanted to. Mm-hmm. But Korean concerts are the only, and so we gotta see. Like we've been trying to get Big Bang. We're trying to get Big Bang. Oh. We may not get him, but before I leave, I gotta go to Big Bang.
This is the third time we're trying. I think it's gonna be in 3 days.
It's the second,
2 or 3 days. Yeah.
You'll be gone in Hong Kong.
I'm gonna be in Hong Kong.
So we're down one person trying, but we're still gonna try. Yeah. We gotta see Sistar. Oh my god!
You don't know how much we regret missing that solo concert they had back in August.
Right before we got here. Yeah.
It was pretty much like the first week that we actually got here, so we were still finding our bearings, and I think the tickets also were sold on Interpark, which is so much easier for foreigners to buy off of.
Yeah.
And it would have been so easy for us to go to see, and we didn't know about Interpark at the time. We didn't know about how to buy the tickets at the time, and it was just bad timing.
Yeah. And I really want to go to a music bank, a music core. I want to go to a kind of a compilation concert. So we might update you guys.
Stay tuned for that because we have some friends who know how to do that, and we're definitely going to be going to like a music core, music bank, or Inkigayo soon. So.
Inkigayo. All right. Well, that's it for this super long. Concert. We like concerts.
We went to a lot of concerts though.
Yeah. So hopefully you stayed with us. Once again, thank you very much. Yeah. And we'll talk to you again.
Yeah,
later.
Find us on YouTube, Facebook, and all that. We'll try to put in some annotations because it is a little bit long if you want to hear about specific concerts. So, yeah, see you guys soon.
Peace. Happy New Year.